This episode of Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Fraser Engines, LLC, specializing in ATV and motorcycle engine rebuilds, now providing service and repair on all power sports, lawn, and garden equipment. Call or message 585-314-1039. That's Fraser Engines, LLC. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Alex Brasky, alongside my co-host, Ajay Cybulski. Proud to have alongside two Letchworth legends, as the Letchworth sports program set to change its name from Indians to Legends. But we're here to talk to two of the top members of that program this past spring season. Adam Halsey, Coach Tim Eustace. Coach, we're bringing you guys in to talk about Adam's career, and it's really been an illustrious one for your program. 2 championships in 3 seasons, and Adam has really spearheaded that charge. What has he meant to this program, guiding this team on the mound, at the plate, in the locker room, in the dugout? What has his leadership and overall ability on the field meant to this program over the past several years?
Sure. Adam is invaluable to this program. He came to us 4 years ago with a lot of baseball knowledge and experience, a lot of skills, and great attitude. And that attitude and that knowledge became infectious. He plays with a passion, and he practices with a passion that all his teammates, kind of try and emulate, try and match him in a way. And it's kind of like iron sharpening iron in our practices. That's an analogy I use a lot in my practices. And, that kind of effort and energy just is infectious and makes us all better.
Adam, Coach Eustace, thank you for taking some time with us today. Adam, I have a couple of questions for you to begin here. What was the moment like winning your second sectional title in the last 3 seasons, defeating Avon? And also, where have you seen yourself progress as a player throughout your time at Letchworth?
There's no better feeling, getting that last out. It's what you've been working for all year, and it's really just nothing you can't really ask for more. And I think I improved on really just keeping my mindset. I think just staying focused and not getting too down or too high in those moments. It really helped me.
Now, Adam, as you move forward, leaving this program in good hands and looking back at your career here, what are you most proud of for your career here at Letchworth and guiding this program to championship success? If you could break it down to one thing, one moment, what have you been most proud of over these years?
I think I've been most proud of is setting a standard. I think this program has come a long way. I'm proud to be part of that, and I think years moving forward, I think there's a standard to be held and an expectation to be met. So I think leaving this program, I think I've done a pretty good job at keeping that.
Now, Adam, I know Coach Eustace probably sets and helps set that standard, but what does setting the standard mean to you? What is that standard that you brought to the baseball diamond day in, day out? Showing
up every day. It's a long season. You go through a lot of ups and downs, and just staying consistent, staying within yourself, and just competing every day. There's not really much more you could ask for out of the kids, and as a team, being the team, working together. And I think the past couple of years we've shown if we do that, we can be a good ball team.
Now, I want to take you back to one of your moments against Gananda earlier this season in the sectional playoffs, where you tossed a complete game, really held down the fort as your team won 9-1. Just talk about that experience, and is that one of the best performances of your career? And if not, what kind of pitching performance really stands out to you throughout your career as a Letchworth baseball player?
Yeah, it was definitely one of them. Going into that game, we're coming in the underdogs, and we're there to kind of set the rest of the sectionals on notice. And I would say either that or maybe against Leroy was some of my last year was some of my better performances. But yeah, last year was definitely, the Gananda game was definitely a huge game for me.
Now, Coach, kind of along that same wavelength, where does Adam, where does he set himself apart here when it comes to Letchworth baseball players? I'm not asking you to rank him in terms of 1 through 5, 1 through 10, whatever, but could you put it in perspective for us when it comes to Letchworth baseball history? I'm sure that you know plenty about this program. You've been at the helm for quite some time, so where does he set himself apart in terms of that upper echelon of Letchworth baseball players?
Yeah, sure. So I've been with the program for 16 years at the head, but I've got extensive knowledge. I'm an alumni myself, so I'm familiar with the program for many, many years. Adam's an outstanding player, one of the best ever. But he's also, this has to be said, he's a great kid. He's got a great attitude, a great work ethic. He's a great leader and a great example for his teammates. He leads the right way. You see leaders that may end up pointing the finger or are afraid to talk about this guy once in a while or put it on my shoulders, where he is unselfish. He's got an outstanding energy and an effort level, but his mentality is very good. He's able to rise to certain occasions or rise to the big moment and meet it head on because of his stable mentality and his confidence and his belief in what he's done is going to prepare him. And, there's been many times over the last 4 years, not just this year, that we've handed him the ball in big moments, or on the flip side of that, he's been at the plate at big moments. And it's amazing to me how often he's been able to come through for us in the clutch. And, that's more than just skill. That's also a mentality that he wants to be in that position. And it doesn't sway him. It doesn't rock him, and that's the most impressive part for me as a coach, is being blessed enough to have a kid like that I don't have to psychologize. I don't have to coach them through that moment. I can look at him and just with a nod of the head or with the look in the eye that he gives, I've got confidence in him that even if he doesn't succeed every moment, that he's got the belief in his head that I can get it done. And that's the really cool part about it.
Now, Coach, just one more for you before we get back to Adam here. The standard that Adam was previously talking about, what's the standard you expect from your players, and why was Adam one of the front runners and one of the leaders in that aspect?
Yeah, well, coaching Adam we had success because I was able to learn from Adam, to be honest with you. He came in with 4 years ago, coming up from junior high and stepping into the varsity level. I mean, he had that mentality, he had that belief, he had that work ethic, and those are things that you want all your players to have. And I was able to learn from him, okay, he's successful for a reason. Now I've got to see if I can get more kids to be successful for that same reason. So our focus was not only on skill development and improvement. It was, how can you mentally prepare? How can you mentally be tougher than your opponent? How can you show the positive body language that sometimes is really difficult in a baseball setting? I coach many things. I'm also the varsity soccer coach, and I've had a lot of experience with basketball. But one thing about baseball is there's so many opportunities for failure, and when you fail, you're out on an island by yourself. It's not the guy's fault next to you. It's not your teammate's fault that you dropped the ball or you made the bad throw, and it's the mentality you approach with it. And Adam has that mentality, and it was really cool because I was able to say, that's the mentality we want. Look at him. He's our guy. And he's not shaking his head. He's not rolling his eyes. He's not complaining about the guy next to him, or he's not putting blame on Big Blue behind the plate. He was the one to say, we got it next time, and it made it easy to coach the whole team, not just Adam.
Adam, I know we've talked a lot about baseball already here throughout this interview, but talk about you as a person. What have you seen in yourself and how you've grown throughout your baseball career off the field? How has baseball really helped you become the person you are today as you move on to the next level?
I mean, it showed me that if you want something, you got to work for it. I think that's a big one. It's not everything's just going to come to you. I think a big example of that is I learned that through baseball. It's really helped me. I would say that, and just sticking with things. Like Coach said, baseball is a sport based on failure. If you fail, it's up to you to either get back up, or are you just going to lay there and let it hit you? So I think those are two big things.
Now, Adam, what have your teammates meant to you over the course of your career? You've kind of been in the headlines, leading the way in terms of statistically, leadership-wise, otherwise. But for Jake to come through in that big spot with the 3-run home run in the sectional final, Hayden to lead off the game with a couple of good innings to set you up to come in to close the deal. What have your teammates meant to you, their support, and how they've also been able to develop? And you said you've helped set a standard. How have they helped you live up to that standard over these past several years?
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be anywhere without the rest of the guys. Baseball's it's a team sport. You can't do anything on your own. Jake, I mean, he's a kid that he's just fun to play with. He's electric. He's exciting. He's gonna make the big play. And he's a kid that I guess I would say similar to me, that if he makes a mistake, he's not gonna get down on himself too hard, and I can tell you he's always gonna brighten the mood. That's just who he is. So, but when he hit that home run, it was huge. I think as a team, it was really a big wake-up call in that game, and it really obviously pushed us forward. And I think last year we were a very young team. We had 2 seniors.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of those guys were still with us when we won sectionals 2 years ago. So I think them being a part of that team, and then this year seeing it firsthand and being on the field playing, I think it really showed them that what goes on and what really needs to be done to keep that standard.
Adam, with your career winding down, what words of encouragement or advice would you give to future Letchworth athletes and baseball players that are going to come across here and continue this baseball program and their success?
I'd say be patient and trust the process. Really, it's a long year. A lot of stuff's got to go into it in the off season, and then obviously when you get to the spring, that's the real important part. But you gotta be patient. You gotta stick with it, and you just gotta keep going.
And then, what are your future plans? What are you looking forward to in your future as your career ensues?
Next year I'll be playing baseball at Duville University in Buffalo, and I'm just excited for a new start, a fresh start, something new, and I'm excited to get at it over there.
Coach, as Adam leaves this program behind on to what he hopes are bigger and better things, tough to be bigger and better than 2 sectional championships in your career. As you know, you've been around a long time. You know how difficult those are to come by. But what are you going to miss most about Adam in the dugout, Adam on the field? You mentioned just that look that you can have with him, that player-coach relationship. If you could nail it down to one thing, maybe one word, what are you going to miss from Adam's presence being around this team?
Just the trust that I have in his abilities, but the trust I have in his commitment, his dedication, the trust I have in his effort and his coachability. Just the trust that I have in Adam, that he's going to give me everything he's got, whether he succeeds or whether he fails. He's going to give it everything he's got, and I can trust that every time.
Now, Adam, we want to leave the people with this. as you reflect on your career and you move forward here, how do you expect to make that transition? A lot of people wonder what varsity athletes look to when they look to make that transition from a scholastic sport in high school to a collegiate sport at the university level. Have you looked to some of your former teammates maybe that have moved on? Who have you spoken with? What have you looked to help yourself with this upcoming transition before we let you go here?
Yeah, I've spoken to some old coaches. They have a lot of knowledge as well. And I've played with a lot of guys who have moved on, so I've talked to them a lot. Just staying focused and being excited and not still staying confident. I'm leaving here, as sectional champ, sectional MVP this year, but it's a whole new start. I have everything to prove when I go there, and I'm just going to keep that mindset.
All right, Adam Halsey, Coach Tim Eustace, thank you for joining us. Adam, good luck in your future, and we'll see you down the road. This episode of Inside High School Sports is brought to you by Fraser Engines, LLC, specializing in ATV and motorcycle engine rebuilds, now providing service and repair on all power sports, lawn, and garden equipment. Call or message 585-314-1039. That's Fraser Engines, LLC.